Hi! Welcome to this part of my solo campaign featuring From the Ashes. If you haven't seen the other parts of this solo campaign, please check out the playlist in the description below. And remember that all of the tools that I am using, I'm going to be listing them in the description as well. You may remember that Corvus was about to enter this village, this mysterious town. So Corvus continues on his way. I made a roll to see how he would proceed, and I obtained Explore Distant Haven. By exploring everything along the way, he intends to find some sort of safe haven or perhaps even answers in this town that is so distant from other places. He walks through the graveyard that surrounds the village. The old tombstones are pretty worn and chipped. Whatever was carved in them is now illegible. Corvus finally makes it past the graves into the village proper, and notices that a big avenue lies in front of him. A hut and a large house that seem mostly intact stand to the side. They look much better than the other houses that are in complete ruins. I made a roll to see what he would do. I obtained Weaken Graceful Temple. Corvus finds it very odd that there aren't any people around, so he thinks that perhaps some accursed temple lies within the village, robbing it of its grace. He will find such a temple, if it exists, and put an end to the curse, or at least weaken it. He decides to head down the avenue to look for said temple. I decided on this because none of the words matched anything related to the two buildings that he found at the entrance. It is further down that path that he spots a hill with many grapes and shrubs. He goes up that hill, but finds no such temple there. He fails an intelligence check and doesn't figure out anything else from that hill. The sky is now completely dark, and as Corvus pulls out his oil lantern, a few ghostly silhouettes surround him for an instant, saying, "Avenge us," before they disappear into thin air. I made a roll and I obtained Silence Theoretical Government. Corvus is more comfortable with the silence of the graves than the theoretical requests of ghostly figures, and decides to look for a center of governance in town. He decides to return to the large building he saw near the town entrance. That could be it. Therefore, he backtracks and enters what must have been a grand house once, that now lays in partial ruins, with tattered and torn paintings hanging from the walls, and moldy, threadbare, ornate rugs scattered on the floor. The only noteworthy room within that building was an office, containing an old desk. Inside of one of its drawers, there is an old diary with mold-eaten pages. However, Corvus is able to read the last entry, and it said, "Lord's Day, 1322. Another corpse was found today. The baker's daughter, ripped apart like the others. Many are blaming the hunter Stavros. He denies it, of course, but everyone knew he had desires on the girl. The question is, what was she doing out at night? Why did she walk to the clearing? There is nothing there except that old tomb. Maybe we will never know. Hunt Day, 1322. They dragged Stavros into town. The baker is respected, and his daughter was very loved by the villagers, and this is what has become of us. They would have hung him if I had not stepped forward to calm the madness. I have agreed to lock Stavros up in the basement of the smith. This has calmed them down, but for how long? Morn Day, 1322. Another body has been found. This proves Stavros is innocent." I made a roll to see what would happen, and I obtained Remember Immaculate Ability. Corvus will remember the entries of Old Tomb and Smith. He will use all of his abilities to cleanse this place of evil, if needed. He goes outside, and by rolling a d6, I determined that Corvus would make his way towards the east part of town. And this concludes this part of the solo campaign. I'm quite curious to see how Corvus will proceed with the clues of Old Tomb and the Smith. I really like this part of the adventure. I felt as if I was actually there. The cold night air, the desolation, the decadence. I really felt as if I was walking within that accursed place. And it's so creepy, there is no one around. What exactly happened to those villagers? And the requests of those ghosts? Will Corvus be able to avenge them? Does he actually want to avenge them? I really like it how when you are playing with your group and when you are playing solo, even as a game master or referee, you sometimes, it feels like you inhabit the fictional characters and suddenly you feel as if you are actually there, smelling, hearing, tasting, touching, and seeing everything that they experience. Thank you for watching this part of the solo campaign. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending the Right Through RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.